Have you ever noticed how some actors don't need the spotlight to shine? They don't chase headlines, but when they appear on screen, you remember them forever. Today, we remember one such legend, John Ashton, a man whose face, voice, and performances became etched into the memory of American cinema, even if his name didn't always dominate the billboards. John David Ashton, born February 22, 1948 in Springfield, Massachusetts, lived a life that can only be described as a love letter to acting. His journey was not one of overnight fame, but of persistence, grit, and that rare ability to breathe authenticity into every character he played. And yet, on September 26, 2024, we lost him at the age of 76. But the question is, how did a small-town boy from Massachusetts become the tough yet lovable detective in Beverly Hills Cop and the unforgettable rival bounty hunter in Midnight Run? And why, even today, do his performances continue to resonate? Let's take a closer look. In the early years of his career, John Ashton wasn't handed blockbuster roles. He started with smaller parts, films like An Eye for an Eye in 1973, Breaking Away in 1979, and Borderline in 1980. He was grinding, showing up, proving himself, and if you watch those performances, even back then, you'll see it. The intensity in his eyes, the way he fully embodied every role. Television soon opened doors. He appeared in Dallas as Willie Joe Garr, bringing tension and charisma to the series. He popped up in Columbo's Negative Reaction and even in the hilarious Police Squad episode Rendezvous at Big Gulch. He was everywhere, not as the star, but as the actor who elevated scenes, who made other characters sharper just by being in the frame. And then came 1984, the moment that would change everything. Picture this. Eddie Murphy is skyrocketing to fame. Beverly Hills Cop is about to hit theaters. And standing right beside him, as Detective Sergeant John Taggart, is John Ashton. The chemistry between Ashton, Judge Reinhold, and Murphy was electric. The grumpy, no-nonsense cop who constantly clashed with Murphy's Axel Foley, that was Ashton. And audiences loved him. He wasn't just playing a cop, he was being a cop. Tough, skeptical, and yet, beneath the surface, deeply human. And when the sequel arrived in 1987, fans were thrilled to see him return. Taggart wasn't the main character, but somehow, without him, the movie wouldn't have been the same. But Ashton wasn't done surprising us. That same year, in 1987, he played Eric Stoltz's father in John Hughes's Some Kind of Wonderful. A quieter role, yes, but one that showed his versatility. Suddenly, the tough detective was also a caring, protective dad, and audiences believed him completely. The late 80s brought another career-defining moment, Midnight Run in 1988. Robert De Niro may have been the star, but John Ashton, as rival bounty hunter Marvin Dorfler, stole scenes with his tough, competitive, and often hilarious performance. Here was a man who could stand toe-to-toe with De Niro, and not just hold his own, but make the audience laugh, cheer, and remember him long after the credits rolled. And that's the beauty of Ashton's career. He never needed to be the loudest voice in the room. He was the steady force, the actor who made a film richer, more believable, and infinitely more entertaining. The 90s saw him continue this momentum with films like Little Big League in 1994, Trapped in Paradise alongside Nicolas Cage, The Shooter in 1995, and Meet the Deedles in 1998. He appeared in Instinct in 1999, and even decades later, he was still working with Hollywood's best. In 2007, he played a supporting role in Ben Affleck's critically acclaimed Gone Baby Gone. And let's not forget his guest appearances on television, from The A-Team to countless others, where he left his unmistakable stamp. But here's the thing. John Ashton was never chasing celebrity. Unlike many actors, he didn't crave the headlines or paparazzi attention. Instead, he focused on his craft. He played characters that felt real, and in doing so, he became unforgettable to millions of fans. For people who grew up in the 80s and 90s, he's not just that guy from Beverly Hills Cop. He's part of their movie memories, part of that golden age of Hollywood buddy cop films, action comedies, and heartfelt dramas. And isn't that the mark of a true actor? To leave behind not just performances, but memories. September 26, 2024, was the day Hollywood lost John Ashton. He was 76. His passing didn't make global headlines like some of the biggest stars, but for those who knew his work, it felt like losing a friend. A familiar face, a steady presence, someone we thought would always be there on our screens. And maybe that's the twist in John Ashton's story. He wasn't the superstar whose name was plastered everywhere. He was something rarer. The actor you trusted. The actor who never disappointed. The actor who gave every role his heart and soul. So today, as we look back at his remarkable career, from Beverly Hills Cop to Midnight Run, from Some Kind of Wonderful to Gone Baby Gone, let's remember John Ashton not just for the characters he played, but for the legacy he leaves behind. Because legends aren't always the loudest. Sometimes they're the steady voices, the ones you only notice when they're gone. Rest in peace, John Ashton. Thank you for the memories. And if you grew up watching his films, if Taggart made you laugh, or Marvin Dorfler made you cheer, or any of his countless roles stayed with you, take a moment now. Like this video, share your favorite John Ashton memory in the comments, and subscribe so we can continue honoring the lives of those who shaped our world, because remembering them keeps them alive.